MacBook?
Because I want to run the new version of macOS, and I want something that isn't running Windows or Chromos or Linux, basically. So
Hold that thought. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. It is the 11th of the 5th month. I've forgotten the name of it.
It's May. It's gonna be
May. I don't know where that's from, but we both went to the same thing.
It's Backstreet Boys.
Oh, okay. I wouldn't know.
Yeah, you would.
No, I listen to good bands like Bewitched and Eternal. Anyway, Caradog was just saying to me that he's on the prowl for a new MacBook, and
well, I'm on the prowl for a new laptop.
Yeah.
And getting a repaired MacBook is probably going to be cheaper, like dramatically so, because of the sourcing.
I guess, but like.
And it's a case of all of the laptops I want that aren't Mac ones. I'm like, I could buy this, or I could buy the one that's going to be 40% better in like 10 months' time. But I need one now.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a case of, but I'm not going to have that on the Apple side.
Fair enough.
It's like, it feels less bad, and also it's just going to be dramatically cheaper.
Yeah. I suppose, by the sounds of things as well, you just want diversity. You just want another system that's
Effectively.
not... Yeah, you want another system that's not running Windows, just so you're getting exposure to something other than Windows.
And it's also the case of just, I need a laptop, and I need that laptop to be modern enough to have hardware acceleration for video encoding and decoding.
Yeah, and that's the answer to your question there, Marcel, is this is a 2050... Oh, no, it's a
2012.
2012.
It's a late...
Oh, yeah.
It is the super rare edition of the late 2012 that
Retina.
Was technically the early 2013, but was the single edition that was the late 2012.
It's a day one Retina, basically.
Yeah.
You know, it's the brand new Retina chassis released, and this one was like first off the production line kind of thing. So yeah. However,
and during software updates, it even changed what year it was.
Yeah.
It was that niche of a release.
Suffice to say, it's over a decade old.
It is a 2 gigahertz quad-core i7.
The fact that it's a quad-core i7 is the only reason why it's survived this long.
Yeah.
Because it's astonishing how well that laptop has aged, all things considered. That's a 12-year-old laptop.
Yeah.
And you could still pull that out at a meeting today.
And for viewing loading Firefox and viewing Discord and a couple of web pages, it survives.
Yeah.
Decoding real-time video.
I was going to say, watch YouTube and just watch those 4 cores go, what is QuickSync? We don't know.
Yeah.
Does it even have... No, it must have QuickSync.
So you know roughly how loud the speakers in these laptops get?
Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine this laptop at maximum speaker volume whilst decoding a video because it's doing Teams and you not being able to hear that the other person is talking because of the noise the laptop is making.
Oh, that's terrible, man. It's terrible.
Yeah. So yes, that's why I need a new one, because I need it to be able to, decode Zoom or Teams without being at 60 decibels.
Fair enough. Right, I'm going to quickly fly through chat. So yes, hello to all the peoples. Hello. I just saw Retro New just said just got back from the RMC The Cave, which is a retro computer museum. That's not the one that we're going to this summer, is it? It was a different one that we were going to when Katrina comes to visit.
I don't know.
Okay.
I can tell you, but I don't know.
Either that one or the cave we're going to visit. Yes, if we're going to a different one that's not the cave, I also want to visit the cave, because I think the cave isn't far from here. So yeah, Caradog's staring at his laptop, waiting for it to load Firefox. This is the problem with these old Macs, man. You tell people it's obsolete, you need to replace it, and they're like, but look at it. And I'm like, I know, but it doesn't stop it being 12 years old. It's such a shame, isn't it?
I mean, no, it's 12 years old.
Well, yeah, but like it seems a shame for a laptop that looks that slick and is in that good a condition, but the hardware in it is 12 years old, so it runs like a dog. It's such a shame. Anyway,
Retro Collective in Stroud.
Is Stroud near here? Also, though, that's not the cave. Katrina would have called it the cave if that was it. So yeah.
The cave has a wealth of nostalgic treasures.
Oh.
Says their Google review.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it must be the cave then. Yeah. Very well.
I have no idea. The Retro Cave Limited. Yeah. GL6,
yeah, Retro and
Gloucester.
also just said Stroud. So yes, we
Yeah,
are thinking of the same
Gloucester.
place. Yeah.
Which means it is 2 hours to 3 hours, depending on whether traffic is fine or awful.
Yeah. What can it be sold for? A pittance, because it's 12 years old.
Yeah, last time I looked, something about £150 to £175.
Yeah, I guess.
Because it functions, if that makes sense. It has a value because it functions, not because of what it is.
And also because it's still an Apple, and people will still be like, oh, I got a MacBook, Retina, and I'm just like, it's 12 years old. It's one of those awkward ones where customers go in being like, sort of, oh, I got this laptop, got it for cheap. It's not the newest, but it's, as you can see, lovely condition. And you say to them, no, it won't run the latest macOS. No, it won't run games. No, it won't run the latest Office. Yes, it's slow because it's 12 years old.
Yeah.
You can't escape this. You can't beat the clock.
What number are we on for the new macOS?
Oh,
are we
I
on
forget.
17?
I'm genuinely out of touch with macOS versions.
It's called Sonoma, isn't it?
Yeah, Sonoma is the latest, and there's a new one in the pipeline as well. Sonoma. I'll let you do this. You're doing the thing.
14.4.
Yeah, it's not Mac OS 10 anymore. They've just gone on to version numbers now. So
how do the numbers work?
Strangely, you might be better off doing Google searching for macOS versions and looking up the Wikipedia entry for that, because they'll have like a table with a list of macOS versions there.
If I'm reading that correctly, this laptop's only 3 versions out of date.
That's not bad. What are you running there?
Big Sur.
Big Sur. Oh, what?
11.7.10.
That got Big Sur?
This one did.
I don't think my 2014 runs Big Sur. I think my 2014's. Oh no. I forget. I don't know. I was about to say I don't care because I just don't care about Apple anymore. But on the other hand, though, obviously, but also it's my job to know this, so just. But I just don't care about Apple.
I don't like that default wallpaper for Sonoma. Good heavens. What is that?
It's usable as a prop in Starbucks.
In Starbucks? Ugh. Imagine going to Starbucks for coffee.
Yeah. Oh, Marcel said if you sell it part by part, I tell you what is worth money is the screen on that laptop. Like unironically, that screen is in great it's in okay condition. The rubber bezel around the edge is a bit sketchy, but
yeah, I peeled it off.
Yeah, however, the anti-glare is still intact, and the chassis is in good condition, for that reason, that screen is probably worth like 200 on its own. So that's something to think about. What made you chuckle?
Apparently, the macOS Sonoma tagline is "Come for the power, stay for the fun."
Why?
What?
Why is there even a tagline for it? Come for the power, stay for the fun.
Say that out of any context of this conversation, and we're not talking about an operating system.
I'm going to use that as my next chat up line. I'm going to say, come for the power, but stay for the fun, baby. There was a meeting in a marketing room where everyone patted themselves on the back for that one, didn't they?
Yes, on the back.
Sips coffee nervously. Oh boy. Upside down operation of the Mac mouse wheel gets me. I disagree. You're wrong. Apple were trailblazers with natural scroll direction, and they were right.
How do I... Hold on.
It was avant-garde, but they're right, and I'll die on this
Scroll
hill.
direction natural.
Yeah.
That's what's on here.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? That makes sense for a... Oh, for a trackpad, that makes sense.
Hang on a sec. You've got it on natural. What's the other one called then?
Unnatural.
Hold on a sec.
I don't know.
Actually, can I just quickly feel it, because I can never remember in my brain which way round it is, and yeah.
Content tracks finger movement.
Oh, that's right. So, okay, so
you are grabbing the page.
Yeah, so this is natural scrolling because it behaves like it's a touch screen. You push the page up.
Yes, that makes sense on a trackpad.
And on a touch screen,
It doesn't make any sense with a mouse wheel.
Yes, you're right, actually.
Because a mouse wheel, I'm not touching the thing. I'm using a physical device to interact with a thing.
Yeah. However, Apple have never made a mouse wheel. They only have touch-sensitive
They've made mice. It doesn't make sense for a mouse.
Yeah, but it's touch-sensitive.
It doesn't make sense for a mouse.
But it's touch-sensitive.
I bet it is.
Anyway. Hi, welcome to Let's Talk Tech with two guys. How is everyone doing? It's the 11th of May. Right. Cider time. Yes, it is cider weather.
Yes.
Summer is upon us.
Yes.
So is the Aurora Borealis. At this time, specifically in the UK. Yeah, well, specifically across the Northern Hemisphere, but I missed most of it and I'm kind of sad about it.
I looked out the window and went, it's cloudy.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, it was.
I looked out a couple of hours later and went, it's misty.
Oh, well, yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah. Okay. The weather is very nice. So today I want to have a look at the Lian Li, which you've not been briefed on because you don't check what the name of the stream is.
No.
You just show up and assume that I know what we're doing.
No. You
just show up
and assume that there is a title.
Yeah. So the Lian Li has the AliExpress 7800X 3D in it, and it's not right.
Oh, I need to
check. But the problem is,
then.
I don't know if it's the CPU, the motherboard, or the RAM, and it could be either. It could, because the problem we've got is the motherboard just has a really terrible BIOS with just no useful options in it. And yes, I have updated it. The RAM isn't on the QVL for the motherboard, and the motherboard's QVL is garbage. And the CPU is an AliExpress one that has legitimate markings on it, but a very, very early 7800X 3D markings. So like it might be a QA fail or a return under warranty chip or something like that. And so yeah, the PC will post sometimes, but it doesn't run properly when it does post, and it usually takes about five attempts to get it to post. So basically, I need to make the call, where am I going to spend more money on this? Am I going to just try buying a different RAM kit to see if it's just RAM that's upsetting the motherboard? Am I going to go, okay, this motherboard is wank, get a different motherboard? Or am I going to go, the CPU is crap, I've got to return that to AliExpress? That's the objective today. So yeah. A1197, mouse with trackball. Hold on a moment. I'll be the judge of that. A1197 mouse. Oh, the magic. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, the Mighty Mouse. Yeah. All right, TFT. Yeah, I'll give you that one. I'd forgotten about the Mighty Mouse. Yeah, no, you're right. The Mighty Mouse counts.
No way.
Yeah, that's close enough to a wheel. Yeah. What do you?
My dodgy orders of CPUs from AliExpress. Apparently, one of the tracking numbers has actually arrived in the UK.
Okay, so something is coming. It could be a CPU. It could be a box of sawdust.
Yes.
It could be a Pentium Gold. Who knows?
That would be perfect for size Lenovo. But yes, apparently it arrived at the processing centre in the United Kingdom.
Yeah. All right. Or just get a decent kit of DDR5. We'll keep it. Just fit it in the next DDR5 kit you build. Yes, JD. The RAM is kind of... I think the RAM is where I'm going. The problem I had is that I couldn't find any... we need to do some RAM shopping because if I'm going to buy another RAM kit, I want to buy a RAM kit that's on the QVL for the motherboard. But the problem is the motherboard's QVL is garbage. So that's kind of why I was like, you know what, let's do this on the podcast to see if we can figure out what the best course of action here is. Because if I buy another RAM kit, I want to be damn sure that it's going to work. Because I don't want to keep throwing money into this because I'm not anticipating doing many AM5 builds at the moment just because I don't do a lot of high-end computer builds.
Is your motherboard the X670 Gaming XAX?
Yes.
Or is it the Gaming XAX V2?
It's the V1, I think. Citation needed. I'm going to go and grab it in a minute and have a look. I'm fairly certain it's the V1. And Ken Sutherland, the QVL. QVL is the qualified vendor list. It's basically a list of RAM modules that have been tested with the motherboard. Now, 9 times out of 10 on a mature platform like DDR4, no one cares about the QVL. Basically, you buy DDR4.
You don't care at high speed.
Yeah, by and large, you buy DDR4, you put it in the board, and it will work. And if there's ever any issues, maybe you run it at slightly below the XMP speed or something like that. Wow. However, DDR5 is a new platform, and AM5 is notoriously fussy with its memory at the moment, it seems. And so it's quite possible, despite the fact that I've got a dodgy Amazon return motherboard and a dodgy AliExpress CPU, it might just be that the motherboard doesn't like the RAM kit. So, and also the RAM is, despite the fact that the RAM is the only new component there, it's also the easiest to replace and reuse somewhere else. So I'm most inclined to buy different RAM.
What is this?
Yeah, see what I mean? The QVL
is wild.
Yeah, see what I mean?
It is literally only Hynix A or M die.
Yeah.
That's all that exists on the QVL is A or M die.
If you sort it by...
Oh no, there's Samsung B die if you're running DDR5 4800.
Yeah, and if you sort it by capacity and you look at 32 gig kits, because like what are you going to buy? A 24 gig kit?
Yeah, because they're better modules.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
the 24 and 48 gig kits are better kits.
I guess 24 gigs of RAM isn't that buck wild, but yeah. I suppose, yeah. Well, yeah, maybe I'll buy a 24 gig kit then, you know. But it's certainly, if you sort it by 32 gig kits, there's like 5 on the list, and they're all like miserable speeds. So, yeah.
Yeah, it is an interesting QVL.
Have you turned on context restore and also memory power down enable? Memory power down enable, I think so. Context restore, I can't find it in the BIOS, which is why I'm pissed off with the BIOS on this motherboard. Because I have searched this BIOS and I cannot find memory context restore.
Any 24.
Also, the other thing as well is I'm not even running Expo. We're running just a JDEC spec. I'm not even trying to get the RAM up to speed. I'm just trying to get the system to post. It's that bad.
I mean, that's broken.
Yeah, that's my point.
That's not, QVL issues. That's just broken.
Yeah.
Because QVL means will run above JDEC default, effectively.
Yeah. So are we swinging back to CPU then?
I mean, something is just flat broken. The modules could be completely dead DOA on the the problem is we don't have enough to test.
Yeah.
The best thing to do is you bought those from Amazon though, didn't you?
Yeah.
It's just to buy another mod set from Amazon.
Yeah.
And if both of them are broken, you can return it to Amazon and go LOL.
Fair enough. What I was thinking of doing today is dragging it over here, and I want to reseat the CPU just to sanity check, because when I put the CPU in, the computer was upright, and I literally just went with the CPU. So like, it might just be that the CPU needs reseating because it's just not sitting nicely. And I also want to try just running it with like one memory module and things like that, just to see if we get some more information out of it.
Do we have JD? We do have a JD.
Yeah.
Remind me, do I want Hynix M die or A die? Or at 6000, do we literally not care?
Try reseating CPU and adjusting cooler mount. But yeah, no, I haven't tried any of that yet. And that's kind of why I thought I'd put it on the podcast, because I've sort of been poking at it during the week, but because I'm having to sit and wait like minutes between each post attempt, I'm like, I just don't have time to do this during the day while I'm trying to do everything else at the same time. So I was like, sod it, we'll look at it on the podcast while we waffle. So yeah. So yeah, I'm willing to buy a new whatever. However, when I buy a new whatever, I kind of want to be 95% certain it's actually going to solve my problem, basically. Because I do not have the money to just keep buying parts for this computer right now. I'm going to go and get it while you scroll.
The QVL has some...
the QVL's garbage, isn't it?
There is some garbage RAM on there. Hi, would you like some 6000 mega transfer 48/48/48/96? Because that's all that's on the QVL.
I can count faster than that.
Oh, that's not horrifying, I guess. I just scrolled down to see if there was anything faster, and there's Corsair Dominator Platinum, RGB Grey, 32 gig, 6000. Oh wait, no, it's 36 something. Oh, that's awful. And it's 160 quid.
I was about to say, I would also like to not spend 160 quid on RAM. Like, I want to spend like up to 120. I'll spend a bit more if I have to, just to get the job done, because the computer is worth it, you know. I'm willing to buy good RAM.
Yeah, I'm just going to do this the other way
because
around.
this is a computer I want to sell and I would like to make a profit on it, so I don't want to spend 200 quid on a RAM kit, because that will annihilate all of the money that I managed to save by getting parts here, there and everywhere in order to get this thing built at a decent price. Whoop. Right.
But
buys new CPU on Amazon, sends back faulty CPU to Amazon. I mean, I couldn't condone that at all. However, that's a thing.
I was just trying to see who said that in chat.
Who do you think it was?
Yes. What do you... Ignoring anything to do with this, what do you think of the look of this RAM?
The new Dominator, yeah.
The titanium, the Dominator titaniums.
That's the nicest Corsair Dominators I've seen. I have never actually liked Dominator RAM. I've always thought...
I think that titanium looks actually really quite sophisticated.
Yeah. I've never been a fan of Corsair Dominator RAM before, but that looks half decent. Right. I'm just taking side panels off of this just so we can lay it down. Because otherwise it's just going to take up... Oh yeah, I'm just flash banging everyone on camera at the moment, so... Lexar.
I really like the... I
like something a bit more prestigious than Lexar.
I liked these ones.
You know, if it's cheap, I guess.
I quite liked that design.
Yeah, it's all right. I didn't like the dot design, though.
Oh, that's the bit I like about it.
Yeah.
And it being white. Like, I also don't overly care, and my RAM purchasing is generally sort by timings.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But like,
if we're going to discuss looks, though, you know.
Yeah. We want DDR5 6000.
Right.
And then we want to sort the cheapest first.
Right. I'm going to start by just reseating the CPU on this thing first, and just seeing if all of the problems magically disappear, because the rule is that this is the greatest repair channel on YouTube. So all I have to do is just touch this while it's on the podcast, and all of its problems will just evaporate. That's how this works.
Oh.
So I'm going to I'm just going to do that. Bench cam go. Yeah. Okay. Also. Wow, I didn't do those. I didn't exactly do this cooler up as far as it would go, but that shouldn't make a difference.
Oh yeah, those T-Create modules. They're half decent. And they're £100. I haven't actually been reading chat. I'm now going to read chat. There's got to be...
do you want to swap places?
6,000 no higher than CL32. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Is that for this?
Yes.
Okay. I was making sure we weren't just magically generating parts.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got the SSD out of it just so I could walk away from it, and it would just drop into BIOS instead of booting Windows.
Yeah.
All right. I will carry on.
I'm going to take a look at this as well, because this is the first time I've looked at AM5. Yes, it's a motherboard. There is nothing.
The socket looks cool. Everything else is a bit like sort of, yeah, that's what a computer looks like.
Yeah. Was mounting the cooler any different? Just because obviously it should be functionally identical.
But exactly the same.
Yeah.
All right. Could you bench cam for me, please?
JD got that motherboard because it was literally the cheapest AM5 board at the time. That is capture. That is not bench cam. That is bench cam.
Yes, JD. That was yes, JD. I got this motherboard because it was cheap, like the budgie. However, I thought, hey, it's a flagship chipset. Well, more or less. And it looked reasonably, and it looked fine. How bad can it be, right? Because let's face it, we all know that there are better motherboards and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, if you buy it's a gigabyte motherboard with an X670 chipset. Literally, how bad can it be? That was my rationale. Especially because I wasn't looking to do overclocking, and you expect it to work, right? It's not unreasonable to buy a motherboard and expect it to work. If it's a crap motherboard, then a crap motherboard might not overclock well, or it might not support DDR5 10,000 or something like that. But you expect it to work. I'm not asking much of it. I'm expecting it to run a mid-range but in the stack CPU and modest RAM, So that's the thing. We need our face cam as well. And I'm going to plug this in. I'm not... oh yes, I should get capture set up. Yeah, alright, I'm setting up capture as well. Should have thought of all of this.
You fiddled with the scenes.
I fiddled with everything, probably.
Or have I just put the camera in the wrong place? No? Okay.
HDMI out.
Oh. No?
I don't remember fiddling with the scenes, but that sounds like something I would do.
Yeah, you've done something.
I will not elaborate.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm just getting cropped.
I see. The 7800X3D's got built-in graphics, hasn't it?
The 7800X3D, yes, it
yeah.
does.
Okay.
You can remove the graphics card.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll just boot it first and just in case it goes into BIOS, because like the first thing I want to do is just show the BIOS on this motherboard, because that's one of the principal issues that's making this a ball ache to deal with, is the motherboard just doesn't have useful options. I feel like I'm in the twilight zone. I'm like, am I just completely out of touch with what a modern BIOS looks like?
Yeah.
Or is this garbage, you know?
Yeah, JD, it was an Amazon special.
Yeah, it was an Amazon warehouse special. I got the motherboard for 160 quid. And I was just like, you know, bargain, right? How bad can it be? All it has to do is work, right? So, yeah. Certainly, if anyone wants ammunition for gigashite, etc., this motherboard is it, apparently. So, yeah. Okay. Is that turned on? It is. Bam! Right, let's see what it's doing.
Edit transform. That's what I wanted. You're cropping it.
I don't believe it. It's posting first time, because of course it is. Okay, well, let's see what we get.
There you go. That makes more sense.
I'm trying to decide if I'm actually going to be angry if this thing just magically works now. Because part of me will be like happy because it works, and the other part of me will be livid because it works. It's Gigabyte. Alright, so we have capture. I'm going to go over to advanced mode. So, things that are suspicious. When this thing has been in Windows, the CPU core voltage has constantly been suspiciously low. Like in Windows, it's been trying to drop to 0.8 volts kind of thing. Yeah, that's about all she wrote. Is this reset at the moment? I think I'm on default settings. I think the last thing... Oh no, the last thing I did was I tried popping vCore SoC up to 1.25 to see if I could get a reliable post out of it.
That's very high.
Well, yeah.
Extremely high.
Yeah, well, that's it.
Instability causing high.
I was trying anything.
Yeah.
Basically.
The functional range for SoC is 1 to 1.15.
Yeah, I was going down Reddit posts trying anything.
Yeah. Just
to get anything out of it. Like I say, I've already put several hours into dicking around with this thing. We'll just reset to defaults for now. Just because, yeah, I was trying to get it to do something. That was the thing. So save and reset. Okay, so this is now not. So now it's sitting in what looks like a training loop where it's bouncing between CPU and DRAM. So it gave us a post first try that time, and now I think it's going to start its song and dance of not posting. Imagine using Reddit for sport. Whatever came up on Google results, basically. Because the other thing as well was like, I still can't find any kind of vCore settings or anything like that in this BIOS. We should have looked at further things just then, just to show you guys, because, like, as I say, I need someone to look through this and just sanity check that I'm not going insane. So, yeah. But
I presume it doesn't have a postcode readout.
No.
Yeah.
Flash the BIOS, done that 3 times. It's on the latest. So, yes. It's definitely on the latest RAM, and it's had multiple flashes. So, on defaults, not booting is very indicative of something being broke. Yeah, well, we know something is broke, but that's the thing. CPU, RAM, or motherboard. I know something's broke because it doesn't work. So, that's the thing, is just what are we going to go for? So, I guess we'll sit around... Yeah, I guess we'll sit around and wait for it to do some training and see if it comes good. And if not, I'm going to start like reseating CPU and RAM and stuff like that. So I default to Mobo CPU. Yeah. See, the CPU is suspicious because it's an AliExpress chip, and the motherboard is suspicious because it was a warehouse return. But I don't know, I feel like a motherboard would either work or it wouldn't. So yeah. I'm going to crack open a cider while this runs.
Very well.
Would you like one?
Yeah, you take one from... Or are you going to... Oh, we see. Oh, we have a random one up there.
Yes. Yeah, it was a gift from Treb. Right. What do you fancy?
Oh, we've got Hogan's, haven't we, as well?
We have.
Can I have a reasonably straight-laced Hogan's? If they do such a thing.
Reasonably straight-laced. Is that the name of one, or
no?
Is that
just as in, you know, a normal cider.
Yes. Fresh and
Definitely
zingy.
Not hops.
Oh, okay, you're not a hops fan. Yeah.
Certainly not today.
Peaty, dry and smoky.
That was all right.
Smooth and smoky. Golden and earthy.
I'll try that medium.
Killer sharp sour.
Definitely
there's the
not.
salty one, yep. And another salty one.
Yeah, I'll try that one.
Bit dusty.
That's fine. That's what caps are for. There you go. What was I doing? Oh, yes. Products. CPUs. Whoop.
All right, so JD's bet is with the Mobo then. Yeah, that's very fruity. God, the RAM training is so nonsense. Under any other circumstances, I would be like, no, that's not going to boot. Just turn it off. However, as I have discovered through my previous troubleshooting with this system, if you walk away for like 5 minutes, you will come back to find that it has posted. Whereas other times, I've left it for like an hour doing this song and dance, and come back and it's still just sitting there, flashing between the lights. It's horrendous. Those power mod cables. This is some random sleeved extension cable that I threw in, and this one is also a random sleeved extension. Both of these are known good cables, for the record, though. They're just Amazon jobs, I think they were. But yeah, the power cables are good, for the record. They've both been used in this system for ages. They're not cable mod, though. What CPU is it? It's a 7800 X3D from AliExpress. So who knows? You also wearing random sleeves. It's true. That's because I'm cool and I wear ancient tatty clothes. PSU is an EVGA 750 Supernova. I think it's a Supernova in there. Yeah, it's a Supernova 750 G3. Change it. It's a known good power supply. Power supply has been sitting in this PC for a while with the previous motherboard, CPU and RAM. So, CPU new or in a box or used? It was supplied OEM, so it was basically just supplied in a plastic tray. Sold as new. For the record, this computer has made it into Windows. It's just not very stable into Windows. So yeah, the thing is that like what we know is just not really worth anything. We just don't know, basically. But the objective is just to ascertain. Well, like I said, I'm going to buy a new CPU, a new motherboard, or a new RAM. One of the three. Which are we going to choose? I don't have a spare CPU to swap with. So that's the thing. If we're going to say swap the CPU, you're basically saying you're committing to going to buy another £300 CPU and send this one back to AliExpress. Are you sure that's the answer? You know, that's the thing. Is all of these are valid things, but yeah. Mike's saying dodgy RAM module. I'm going to turn this off, I think, because I don't think this is going to start. So yeah, I'm going to reseat the CPU just because I haven't done that yet. Then I'm going to go to just because I want to be sure. Well, yeah. Once I've reseated the CPU, we can say that's done. Then I'm going to move to trying different the RAM modules in different orders and stuff. So we do not have a different board. We do not have different RAM. We don't have any spares for this. That's what makes this difficult. If we had spares, I'd have solved it in an hour during the week. But we don't have spares. So we only have pharaohs we can pray to.
Where's that QVL list there?
I'm going to get a screwdriver. I'm going to take out the graphics card as well because we've got onboard video, so we shouldn't actually need it.
This is 6,000.
Love how big the eject lever is on this motherboard though. I already used my prayers to summon Cthulhu. You're on your own for this one. Ah! Good, I did turn off the power supply. For a moment I was like, am I doing this hot? Yeah, returns could be made, but replacements will cost more than the original purchases. Therein lies the issue. I don't mind buying replacement parts. I'm not opposed to that. But I want to be certain that when I spend money, it will actually be a solution. I can't afford to just throw money at this thing. So I want to make sure that I actually buy something that's going to be the correct option to solve the issue. And ultimately, that's going to be a guess. I don't think we're going to get a straight answer. But what I think is interesting here is just exploring all of the information we have and figuring out how to come to that conclusion of where we're going to guess. Because I think that's what makes this interesting, is a lot of the time, like if you're trying to troubleshoot a computer that won't post, anyone can just replace parts until it works. But if you're at home and you've just built your PC and it's not posting, you don't have replacement parts, and you've got to guess what the problem is. Yeah. And I think that's a very interesting dilemma to be in. So I think that's what makes this interesting, is learning what to do when you're in that dilemma of no spare parts are available. Where are you spending your money? You know. So might be a good idea to plug in a BIOS speaker for no boot beep codes. That's not a bad idea. Yeah, we might get more information from that. I'll do that on the next post. Let's see. Right. Considering I put the CPU in vertically, it looks like the paste was actually a pretty good spread. I'm going to clean it up. Let's pull that bad boy out. It looks pretty centered in the socket.
What's up with that pin there?
Ooh. Yeah, there's someone out of alignment there. There's a shiny thing anyway. I'm going to put that down there.
I'm going to stare really hard at this for a moment. Oh, you do have blobs on your capacitors, which is good. They come with little blobs of stuff covering the capacitors. And I'm like, yeah, that's on there. That's not been disturbed.
Yeah, we do have a pin that looks out of alignment. Right, I'm going to grab my phone and take a close-up picture of that.
Nothing seems to be out of place on the bottom of the CPU.
Where is my phone? It's out the front.
I still find it bizarre that you can look under the IHS straight through to the other side, just because they've decided to do that. Like, okay. We lost golden pins.
If it is off, I don't think it's off by much.
No, but it is out of alignment just because obviously the reflection's different. How do you make new windows again? Oh yeah, just like that.
God, hacking.
Oh yeah, B650M HDV-M2. Yeah, that's a good board. Absolutely not. It's an Asus motherboard, can't buy those.
Get ready for all the YouTubers to boycott Asus again.
Yeah.
We're never dealing with Asus again until 6 months when everyone's forgotten about this.
Which live mixer? JD said the live mixer was 166 quid and I can't remember which one it was.
Yeah, I mean, so you can see we've got a pin that's off kilter, but it's so minor that if I go to this picture, which one is it? You know, there is a pin that is fractionally off, but man, I will eat my hat if that's it.
Oh, that's not terrible. I think that looks pretty.
It's cool. I'm not buying it for this PC, but I think motherboards like that, where they've actually styled it, I think that's super cool.
Yeah, the ASRock B650.
Yeah, I was about to say, I bet that's an ASRock, because ASRock are super into that right now, and I support that.
It's also a case of just it's a really good motherboard for 166 quid new.
Okay,
so
right. Am I going to
just comparing the expenditure? It's only another £6
to
get something that's definitely a good board.
Yeah, yeah. Like, I feel very attacked that everyone's telling me I bought a shit motherboard, and I'm like, I bought an X670. You'd expect it to work, right?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. But like, there's it works, and everyone's like, no, this is a really solid board.
Yeah.
And that sits in the category of this is a really solid board.
That's
so it's
fair.
just a case of if
is something like that available in another design? Like they got something that's like a funky blue or something like that.
No, not really. I mean, your other options are going to be like, I still maintain that the actual bare minimum board you really need to buy, and there isn't much point in buying anything else, is the ASRock B650M-HDV/M.2.
Of course, that board.
Just because, it is actually literally what you need. Oh yeah, the Pro RS.
Right, I'm just clearing some space on the bench, and I'm just going to go over to the microscope just so I can see that pin properly.
Are you going to take it out of the case?
No, I'll be right back. I'm just going to haul this over there, and just because I'm trying to see, like, we know that pin is slightly off, but I can't figure out how, basically, because the pictures that I've taken of it, I'm like, are you sure? You know. Oh, there we go.
My 14 kilos of unnecessary case.
This is without the glass. It's all the RGB. Makes it so heavy.
Yeah, the HDV M.2 is also like 115 quid new. The only problem with it is it doesn't look expensive.
Yeah.
But like, if you're building a computer for someone who wants a good computer, it's a great option. But yeah.
I'm vain, but you know, I'm also sensible.
Yeah. You probably think this song is about you.
Oh, come on. There's no... I'll just tweak that pin up slightly. I can't see a world where this pin is our problem. But I'm just going to give it a quick poke. I don't think I'm going to be able to get it in a way that where it doesn't stick out slightly, to be honest, because when you're straightening CPU socket pins, like, you'll never get it perfectly in alignment with the rest of the grid. Like, that requires machine accuracy. You just need it to be vaguely correct.
It just depends on how it sits with pressure, basically.
Yeah, and like, that's already correct as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
So yeah. No, it's bollocks to that. I'm putting the CPU back in. What have you spotted?
Just word choices.
I see. Oh. Okay. Right. Shoving that back in there.
Put that thing back where it came from, so help me.
So help me. Right, that's in.
G-Skill Flare X5. Okay. Do you appear on the QVL?
Right, plunk that down, screw these down, see what it does. I'm expecting this to be no change, and then we move to trying the memory modules one by one. We're using the paste? Yeah, I mean, like, it's not like we're worried about overheating right now.
What you...
I'll put some fresh paste on it when I know that it's not coming back out again. BIOS has been updated. BIOS is latest, and I've flashed it about 3 times.
Oh, I see.
Put back graphics cards so not to add to the variable. That's a reasonable thing to say, but I'm not going to do that for now. I can't see a world where this is a graphics issue. However, you're right. Yeah, okay. I'll put the graphics card in for now.
I dislike trying to find exact memory modules off of QVL.
Same. I went through this song and dance with it the other, I think it was yesterday I was doing this, because I was basically just, if I could have found, I went through like the first 1 or 2 pages of DDR5 on Amazon, and just copy pasted searching the QVL for it, and I couldn't find any of them. So yeah. This is the problem, is, you know, when you're having issues with memory, a lot of people be like, did you buy memory from the QVL? And you're like, no. But like, buying memory that's on the QVL is such a ball ache.
Well, yeah, especially because I can buy this RAM that's on the QVL.
For 260 quid, yeah.
Which is 6,000 CL30 for £260. Or I can buy this G-Skill Flare that isn't on the QVL for £110. It's just like, what?
chuck that guy back in there as well.
Yeah, never looked at the QVL to make a RAM purchase, just looked at the QVL to determine if the board is worth buying. The problem is with DDR5 is we've seen QVLs that are absolute garbage.
Yeah.
Just like, they are not based in reality in the slightest. Yeah.
Alright, we are RAM training.
But like...
Probably. Oh, I'm going to get a beep speaker.
Yeah. Like, if I was buying DDR5, I'd be just buying this G-Skill Flare X5 or the Team Group T-Create Expert.
Yeah, failing
stuff.
that, I didn't think that Corsair was a bad purchase. You know, it's Corsair RAM. You know, Corsair RAM just works, right? Like, sure.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, there's nothing. No. I'm not saying the RAM is defective.
No. Yeah.
I'm just saying if I personally were buying RAM, I'd be buying those two kits just because, like this one, it's a freaking 6400 kit. It's CL32 for £104.
Oh wow, yeah. All right, fair enough.
And I'm like, I'd buy that, then set the timing to 6000.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
Yeah.
You know,
see, that's the thing.
Me, that's
see,
fine.
that seems like a great. If I have to buy different RAM, that seems like a great choice. However, if we're assuming that RAM is the problem here, am I going to replace this RAM with another kit that's also not on the QVL, and then grizzle if that doesn't work? I mean, I guess at that point you would just go, this motherboard is wank, wouldn't you?
Well, yes, we would. Either way, whichever way it is sliced, more RAM is required, more motherboards are required, and more CPUs are required. Because A/B testing needs to be done.
Yeah. All right, we've got to sit around for a couple of minutes while it RAM trains, and maybe works. And then after that, I'm going to start swapping RAM modules around.
Yes.
If we can't figure this out, RAM and Mobos are easy to get off of Amazon and easy to return. This is true, yeah. This is true.
Yeah.
This is not insurmountable, you know.
Yeah.
It's just a case of like I've already invested money into this computer, and it's probably not going to sell for a considerable amount of time. So the last thing I want to do is start spending even more money on it, you know. So yeah, it's a case of yeah.
Yeah, the cheapest AM5 CPU I've seen is this 7600 off of eBay. For 170 quid.
Yeah.
Like, just a listing for a
see, that's not a terrible
new CPU sort of thing.
Yeah, that's not a terrible idea, because if I was building someone, if someone came in and said, I want to buy a custom built gaming PC using current generation AMD parts, so Ryzen 7000 to tomorrow, on a minimal budget, you'd put a 7600 in it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and you'd put in an ASRock B650M HD VM too.
Yeah, so those parts are potentially a reasonable purchase to make, because while those aren't the like, I had my heart set on putting a 7800X3D in this, but if I bought those parts, even if I then end up buying another 7800X3D knowing that I need a new CPU, and I end up with a spare CPU, a 7600 is going to be reasonably easy to shift, because it's mid-range. It's a mid-range gaming CPU, which is the kind of thing that people come in and buy. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Can we zoom into the Cider label? Possibly, or we could read it. Are we doing the we'll do the Cider label read, and if it hasn't posted by the time we've done that, then we'll.
Is the monitor on?
It is, however, also nothing is lit up in here. If it actually posts, we'll see all the RGB light up. So I'm currently drinking Harry's Cider, made in Somerset. This is called Applemore, medium and sparkling. Crafted in Somerset using a traditional bittersweet apples, Applemore is a medium cider with a gentle sparkle which enhances the flavours and gives a mellow tannic finish. Pair with grilled West Country sausages with caramelised onion gravy.
I do like stuff where it's just like, here is a food pairing, but a singular one. We are not going to infer that this even pairs with any other types or categories of food.
Bangers and mash, mate, innit?
Yes.
Well...
Sorry, I was just looking at the side. I enjoyed the fact that this is Sideri, Cisalta, Solfegetta, Inhaler, Sulfur. And I'm like, okay.
I see.
Yes, Hogan's first quenchingly golden and earthy medium 100% fresh pressed cider.
All right.
Some medium ciders, not ours, are so full of sugar that your teeth just want to crawl out of your mouth. Look at our ingredients. We just let the natural flavour of our fermented cider apples speak for themselves, so you'll find our award-winning medium cider a sparkling and refreshing seasoned drink. Golden, aromatic and lively. We're really proud of this Moorish drop of authentic pressed cider straight from the Malvern Hills.
Very well. I like the concept that they're pitching, where they're just like, we haven't just sweetened it until it tastes nice. Because, like, I never know how I feel about these things, because, like, a lot of people will be like, if you don't want sugar, then cider's the wrong drink, chum. But I like but I like sweet drinks, so nah. Right, this thing is not going anywhere, so I'm going to power it off. And I'm going to take out both RAM modules and then put one of them back in.
I was going to say, if you take out both RAM modules and turn it on, does it do something different?
That's a good... Yeah, sure. Oh, that'll do it good.
My RAM!
All right, no RAM.
We should get squeaks. Because you did plug in the speaker. Yes?
I did. And interesting, it's doing the same CPU to DRAM light dance. Like, that might be the smoking gun right there, because with no RAM in, it should just immediately just fail on no RAM, shouldn't it?
Or maybe the second bounce kind of thing. It might go RAM, CPU, RAM.
Yeah.
Because it might have thought that the CPU was slow at coming on.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
However, it's literally sitting here bouncing between CPU and RAM LEDs at the moment.
Have you, I guess, clear the CMOS by taking out the battery?
Yeah, we'll give it a CMOS clear for good measure then, yeah. Like, I'll pop out the graphics card. We'll actually go to a bare boot here, just because I have... It is now occurring to me that we're getting down to, let's go back to the basics for a second. Like, yeah. I had assumed that there was some basic functionality here, but suddenly I'm like, well, hold on a moment. Right, where is... It's behind there, I'm guessing. It's behind the door for the 3 additional M.2 slots. Can I use a better screwdriver than that one? Where's the...
What, this one?
Yes, that's the one. Thank you. First, I need to lose this screwdriver on the motherboard completely.
Help me! My motherboard has eaten my screwdriver.
I used a poxy cheap screwdriver that was sitting on the counter, and it's fallen between the PCI Express lanes, and now my life is hell. Okay, right.
CPU to RAM is a direct link. Well, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, William was saying I was thinking about going to basics a while ago. So the reason why I haven't really gone back to basics per se is this computer with this configuration has booted into Windows several times. So, like, we haven't got a catastrophic this is stone dead situation here.
Yeah.
Which is kind of why I've been skipping the basics. Where is the CMOS battery on this board?
I see. Is it under here? I don't know why it would be, but is it under the edge there? No. Is it under here? Is this removable?
From the back it would be, but like...
I see.
Well, we have got a CMOS reset, so we've got a CMOS switch and a reset jumper. This is going to be dual BIOS, isn't it? We've got an M BIOS. I don't know where the backup BIOS is, but it's a gigabyte. It's a gigabyte with a flagship chipset. I find it hard to believe that this doesn't have dual BIOS. Either way, I'm going to just short the reset pins. And we've got some more diagnostic buttons up there. Hold on a second, I'm sticking my head over
One
there.
of them's a power button.
Power switch and reset switch. Yeah, we've got power and reset up there. Resetting, resetting.
Under the NVMe heatsink above the PCIe.
Nope.
What NVMe heatsink above
Well,
the
that's the NVMe heatsink that I've removed. Go to overhead cam.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, by all means, yeah, Bueller.
Ah, too much.
Tell me if you can spot a CMOS battery in this picture. Q-Flash Plus. Yep.
You have a little hole.
Yep.
Does that go to a button behind it? Or is that a path for you to put a K-type in? It's a
If
path
they-
for a K-type.
If they've actually put it under the VRM heatsink, or even if they put it under the PCH heatsink and requires you to remove those, that's wild. What motherboard is it? This is a X670 Gaming X AX. Either way, I've given the reset jumper a good rub with a screwdriver, so that should do the job. Don't ask me why I said it that way. I was like, Ainsley Harriott, give it a good rub, you know. Right, power on. Power on. I can't see a world where this is RAM, considering it's doing this now.
Nope.
It's underneath the PCH heatsink. Says tough enough. It's under the right heatsink. Oh, that's terrible, man. That means you've got to remove the motherboard in order to get the CMOS battery out. That's genuinely terrible.
What was the white button here? Was it a clear CMOS as well?
That is labelled BIOS switch.
Oh, well, I'm going to push it whilst it's on and see if we get a different reaction. No!
No response. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so try disabling XMP. There's no RAM in it. There's no RAM in it.
It can't work out. There's no RAM.
Yeah, like that's the thing. It can't be RAM at this point. So
hold on, I'm going to try something. And then which one was it to stroke? If you may please poke the...
That's the BIOS reset jumper I'm stroking.
Nothing is happening. Fine. I wasn't expecting something to happen, but I'm just like, we have done all of the rain dance.
Yep, the BIOS must be reset at this point. I tell you what I'm tempted to do. Oh, hold up a sec. Yeah, I plugged it in while the power supply was on just then. I'm tempted to get another power supply. I said at the start of the stream, it's not the power supply, this is a known good power supply, blah, 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 blah. However, there was a Dixie horn outside just as Caradog pressed the power switch then.
Amazing.
If this doesn't work, I said it can't be the power supply. However, if this was someone else in the Discord saying, I'm having these problems, I would say, just change the power supply. Just do it. Humour me. You have another power supply, just try a different one.
Yeah, there's literally no change in behaviour.
Yeah.
There is no world where that is the RAM to me.
Yeah. I can't see any world where it's the power supply, but I think we've just crashed into it's the CPU or the motherboard, and I think I'm going to go with motherboard. The question is, how long do I have to claim a faulty CPU from AliExpress?
Don't know.
I mean, I could just start a claim now anyway. Like, start a claim.
Yeah.
Replace the motherboard. If it doesn't work, I've already started the CPU claim. If it turns out to be the motherboard, then I just cancel the claim or I just don't send it back.
Yeah. Basically.
Yeah. This RAM revelation is a different one. It had not occurred to me to run it with no RAM in, and we should definitely just be seeing a straight up RAM error at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
Probably 14 days with AliExpress. Yeah, see, it's already been a week. I've only got a couple of days before 14 days is up. Yeah. So I'm going to have to move fast on that. Can you grab a CPU from a custom PC? No, I don't have any AM5 systems in. This is my second encounter with AM5 at the moment.
Oh.
So I just don't have any spare parts for it yet. So yeah. Okay. Hello, Paul. Never with AliExpress. Good luck with that. We'll see. Okay. Right. Well, this ain't going anywhere. It's still doing a RAM dance.
Yeah.
You can still get a CPU replacement without Ali if it needs speed, and it's not the end of the world. Yes, this is true. I would prefer not to do such things. However, if it's me or them, then yeah, I'll pick me. Thank you very much. So yeah. Okay, right.
Power supply.
Yes, we're going to try the power supply. Then after that, I think if it's on the assumption that it's not the power supply, I think we're dead in the water, aren't we?
I think the only other thing I would do is put the graphics card back in and just prove that going back to the state we were in is still broken.
Sure.
Not that I expect it to change anything, but it just ticks the box of you change things.
Yeah.
Is it still broken if they're the same?
Yeah.
And yes.
See, if we bully it enough, it will start.
Yeah.
However,
but we need to get it to start twice in a row.
Yeah.
Before we even go, oh yeah, look, it might actually be sorted.
Yeah. Like, if I keep bullying this thing, it will post. The problem is it will, as I say, it will post 1 in 10 times. And obviously, like, it should be able to post every time, you know. Yeah. Or at the very least, the errors that we're getting should make some kind of sense.
Yeah.
Right, we need that. Oh, that EPSY is a pain in the ass.
Bom, 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 bom. Yeah. If this doesn't do anything, I guess we'll take the motherboard out pending its replacement.
May as well, yeah. Right, 24 pin, 8 pin. That's all we need for a basic power up, so yeah.
And a power cable in the power supply.
And a power cable in the power supply. Right. Is that posted? Oh no, it hasn't. Yeah, it's hard to see from the from the preview.
No. I'll zoom in on the important part.
There we go. Maybe the first RAM channel has a problem. Yeah, I mean, we could try another slot just for funsies. Again, can't see a world where this is RAM at this point because, you know, it should give a RAM error with no RAM fitted. But, yeah. Have you tried less pressure on the CPU cooler yet? No. We'll try a perch CPU. Because, yeah, again, it's just like... It feels like these shouldn't be causes, but I'm all out of ideas, so sure, why not? Let's try these things. And yes, we do have a beep speaker hooked up.
We're not even getting far enough in, as far as I can tell.
No, we're not.
I think by the fact of the lack of beep code and the fact that there was no change when there was RAM or no RAM, it certainly points to it being a motherboard issue.
Yeah.
And also the fact of where the motherboard came from suggests that there was an issue with it, someone returned it, and then it got sold again.
Yeah. That's incredibly plausible. And when if you said that out loud in a vacuum, forgetting the RAM choice, forgetting the CPU, if you just said, I bought an Amazon warehouse motherboard and I'm having issues with it running properly, then people will be like, yeah, well, it's faulty. Of course it's faulty. Why would you not think it's the motherboard? You know, so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be the first time I've had a duff one from Amazon warehouse.
I've had...
Perhaps I've just gotten lucky.
The only thing I've had is one where the handle was snapped on something. Just like the item had become damaged at some point and the handle had snapped. And I was just like, oh, it's broken. And they're just like, here is a refund.
Yeah. Right. Are we calling that a no post?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
all right.
I was going to say, it's doing nothing.
See, that's the problem is I don't know what RAM training looks like on AM5. Is that what RAM training looks like on AM5? Because we also know that it can take minutes on AM5. That's the thing. So yeah, it's not BIOS. BIOS has been flashed 3 times. It's not BIOS. So yeah, 5 minutes of hell. Yeah, so we aren't giving it 5 minutes, but yeah. Right.
Yeah, exactly. As
no,
JD
it shouldn't.
said
It would hang on the RAM light.
That's what I expected as well.
Yeah.
Because I can't imagine it bouncing back and forth between 2 different ones.
That's
it'd be
what
waiting on the RAM.
Yeah.
Effectively, or the RAM part of the cycle.
That's what I thought. See, if it was just sitting on RAM light, yeah. But, and failing that, like, if it was intermittently doing, like, a power cycle now and then, that's what RAM training looks like.
Yeah.
But just constantly bouncing back and forth like that, I'm like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
However, like, there have been times where I've left it doing that, come back, like, 20 minutes later and it's posted. Make of that what you will, you know.
I think the answer is it's faulty.
Yeah. I agree. I think we've got a dead motherboard. We're just going to try a couple of other things for funsies. So we're going to... actually, should we take the motherboard out and let's do benchtop testing, because we're going to try a perched CPU cooler for mount pressure. However, at this point, I think the motherboard is coming out because I can't see a world where it's not the motherboard at this point.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay, right. Zoom us out, please, Mr. Caradog. The motherboard is coming out.
Whee. I guess the other thing we can look at when it's on the bench is see if it does something different when there's no CPU in there.
Yeah. All right, that's all out.
Yeah.
Take the cooler off, motherboard's not going to post anyway. Yeah, I agree. I think at this point we've got our answer, but we may as well just try some other theories because we can, you know. Like, there are certain times where it's worth trying crackpot theories because every now and then a crackpot theory works.
And you learn a thing.
Yeah. So, like, it wouldn't be the first time where someone has been like, tried this, and I'm like, that's stupid, that's not going to work, and then it works.
Have you checked the date in the BIOS?
Well, yeah. Yeah. Speaking of which, you know what computer's back in?
Yeah. Have you sold them a Liquid Freezer 3 yet?
No. However, that's all the old stuff that's all going back into the case. The guy has just, in batches, bought a new computer and just basically paid to have it rebuilt about 3 times now. And I'm like, I don't want to say anything, but it's like, have you considered trying to build it yourself? But yeah.
Well, not even that. Have you considered just telling me I want you to build a computer?
Yeah.
Then you'll get something that might actually work.
And my brother in Christ, please stop buying all of your parts new on eBay from dodgy Chinese brands. Although I don't get to talk about buying sketchy parts today because circumstances.
I mean, yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess. My parts were experimental and understanding the risks. I bought a CPU on AliExpress knowing the risks, so yeah.
And it's also the fact of you bought it for less money as opposed to spending more money.
Yes, that's the other thing as well. Yeah, like I'm going to fit a VIDA power supply.
Okay.
Just fine.
Maybe Kara has a replacement CPU for you soon. Maybe. Oh,
I'm still going to be. It's not that I'm hoping that you fail, but I'm kind of hoping that you fail because you paid like £100 less than me for your AliExpress CPUs.
Yes, £140.
Yeah, and I'm kind of going to be angry if yours are okay and I had all these problems. Although that much being said, at this point, we believe that the CPU is probably okay. So
yes.
Yeah.
I must double check something because I could have sworn I had a watch.
You have a watch, it's here.
Ah, good. I was like, I could have sworn I had a watch, and now I don't. And now I have no memory of where I placed it.
My Rolex.
My Rollerfax.
My Optiplex.
Yes.
Coming out. Coming out. It makes me feel better if I talk to the computer as I wrestle things out. You'd be like, come on, come on, you can do it. I believe in you. There's a good boy. There's a good boy. There's a good boy. Drop it. Drop it. Drop it. Let go of it. Let go of it. Come on. Let go.
Things learnt in VR chat.
Whoops. HDMI cable still plugged in. That's my bad.
Oh, you're still plugged.
24 pin is still plugged in and the power supply is on. Hot plugging the motherboard. Cool. I wasn't specifically handing that to you. I was just looking in, however, yeah.
No, I've taken it because I'm now seeing if I can...
You're going to stare at it, yeah.
See if I can spot the battery. Just because, you know, the pins on the back are usually reasonably identifiable.
Yeah, it's usually... Well, yeah, it might be SMD. Oh, they're often through hole, but...
That's what I'm saying. They're often recognisable. Yeah. I'm just like, nope. I can't see it.
So look.
No idea.
It's under the PCH heatsink. It's there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it just gigabyte. Just. There it is. Gigabyte. Gigabyte, I love you and I defend you, but come on.
Give me something to work with here.
So, to replace the CMOS battery, you have to remove the PCH heatsink. That's nonsense.
Yeah.
Like, it's not difficult to do this, but I can tell you, the average person, even the average computer builder, is kind of freaked out by removing heatsinks from a motherboard like this.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a big deal, but it absolutely shouldn't be necessary. Hey, look at that, there's 2 of them.
What? Batteries?
No.
Oh, chipsets.
Yeah.
Yes. That's what makes it X670 as opposed to B650.
Yeah.
But wait, there's more.
What, X670E?
Yes.
Does that have 3?
Probably. It might have 4.
I see.
But it certainly has redrivers.
I should probably check the voltage of this, actually, because it wouldn't be the first time that I've had a quote-unquote new motherboard that's arrived with just a stone-dead BIOS battery. And a stone-dead BIOS battery, that can cause weird stuff to happen. It doesn't always cause no post. You know, a lot of the time a computer will work with the BIOS battery being flat, but it's entirely heard of for a desktop flat BIOS battery to just cause random issues. 3.06, it's not great. I don't think that's the problem. I'm going to change it anyway. And obviously, like, we're changing multiple things at the same time here, but yeah, I'll put a new one in it, and if all of the problems have magically evaporated now, then we'll know that there's a very good chance that that was it. Taking the motherboard out shouldn't make a difference. No, one thing at a time. No. I'm putting a known good battery in there. 3.3 volts. Decision made. If we actually change things one at a time, we'll be here all day. But then that's kind of what this podcast is about.
What, being here all day?
Yeah. It's summer, and we're in semi-rural Dorset, so there's always a housefly buzzing around, and they like the ceiling lights in here, so you can constantly hear a fly just bouncing off of the light. It's very annoying. It's spring. Well, it's warm. Ish.
I was not sure what that image was.
I see. Is it a frog?
Is it something else? No. It's an alien wearing hats.
I see it now. I was looking at it. I was like, how is this not a penis? I'm looking at it again and again. And I'm like, no, it's a xenomorph. All right, so new BIOS battery, perched cooler. Where's that freezer gone? There you go. CPU fan.
Graham, every night on VR chat.
Not every night. Right.
One night I know it is.
EPS.
Because it's naked yoga.
Naked yoga?
Yeah.
Right, 24 pin EPS.
So you've got to feel the breeze.
HDMI.
On the mountaintop.
Go. 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 I'm going to adjust this so the light is visible.
Boom. Boom, boom. Boom, boom.
It's just dancing again. We'll give it a couple of minutes, but... Universal fit cooler perched on CPU. Absolutely. Can't say there's too much mounting pressure if there's no mounting pressure. Are you using the correct EPS socket? Is there a primary? On every motherboard I've ever encountered, the sockets are parallel, so it doesn't matter which one you use.
When there is a single 24 pin.
Yes. Feel the CPU, betting it's warm if anything. CPU is stone cold. The CPU has not initialized. Oh, well, no, there's something there. But considering I'm holding up the cooler and I'm just holding my knuckle against the CPU right now. It's trying. We do not have another motherboard. We should try the memory in another slot, just for funsies. It's not mounting pressure. I think we've just discovered that, though. I think we're definitely at the point where we're deciding it. Okay, so while I do this, what motherboard shall I buy? I don't... that ASRock, I appreciate that it's a good board, but I don't want the red board. What board are we buying that's not that ASRock?
The ASRock B650 HDV M.2.
Show me, because that is a sequence of numbers and letters.
Have a motherboard.
Bang. Yeah.
This is the Metaboard.
Is there something ATX? Because like I don't want to put a micro ATX motherboard in this computer. Although yeah, like at this point we're buying a new motherboard and we're expecting it to solve the problem. So I want it to be a motherboard that I'm actually going to keep in the system. So therefore, I want it to be an ATX motherboard. Oh, those M.2 slots glowing? No, it's just the light catching the things. What would happen if the EPX or ATX connector had a dry joint? Lots of things. I'm going to try the other EPS connector in a minute, just for funsies, just because, you know, we're trying crackpot theories here, so. How did you redo the BIOS? Was it flashback? I've tried both. I've tried a flashback and I've done an in-BIOS update, because, as I say, you can bully this thing into posting. If we keep bullying this thing again and again, it will post. Consistency is the problem. B650 Tomahawk. Historically, the Tomahawk has always been a reasonably good board, so yeah.
It's got a PS2!
What has? Oh, the BIOS is B650, yeah.
B650 Eagle ATX has a PS2 on it. I'm like, okay.
That's for overclocking, though. Duh. Alright, that ain't gonna go. Let's try the other EPS connector. I'm going to try it with no CPU in a minute as well.
MSI Pro B650S Wi-Fi. I see.
Nout. Absolutely nout.
Oh yeah, the B650 Aorus. Aorus.
B650 Lorax. It speaks for the motherboards.
It speaks for the trees. Fuck is it Vietnamese?
No. Anyway. Okay, how much is that?
£139.98.
Damn, that's alright.
That was the MSI Pro B650-S Wi-Fi.
Sure, is it on Amazon?
I don't know.
And then look.
Apparently, for £139.99.
All right, that seems reasonable. Don't buy MSI.
What do you say? Oh yeah, Elite.
I think MSI get a bit of a bad rep. The past couple of MSI boards that I've used that people have assured me are trash boards have been completely fine.
Oh yeah, Aorus Elite V2. £175 like.
I mean, like I spent 160 on this. I'm not against spending I spent 160 on this.
It's got USB.
Good. I spent 160 on about 165 on this board, and it's going to be sent back as faulty. So I'm not opposed to spending £175 on a nice motherboard. Like this is a PC that I want to sell for 1400 or 1500. I can't remember what we decided on. I've got it written down somewhere, but I'm going to be asking for like 1400 to 1500 quid for this PC. I want it to have a nice looking motherboard in it, you know. I'm not against a B series chipset, but it would be nice to have an X670 just for pimp value. Is there a flake of dust in the CPU socket? We've already had the CPU out. We've already done that. There was a suspicious looking pin there, but I can't see a world where that pin is causing the issue.
Where is the gallery? Give me the gallery.
That ain't gonna go. What was the other thing we were gonna try? Oh yeah, I'm gonna just try it with no CPU in and see what happens. I'm guessing it will just immediately stall on no CPU, because why wouldn't it?
But when I said, oh look, it's got USB, I meant, look, it's got USB.
8, 9, 10, 11 and a half. Yeah, that's pretty good.
So yeah.
I'm gonna wait for this thing to tick, because the 5VSB stays up for ages on this.
Yeah.
I don't know if 5VSB goes to the CPU, but I don't want to risk it.
Oh, the other thing to double check as well is the...
Still very non-conclusive diagnostics. I agree, Si. However, another motherboard from Amazon, and this can be returned to Amazon, is a lot easier than returning the CPU. I think I will start I will open a dispute on the CPU just in case. But at this point, based on the behavior of the motherboard with no RAM in it and stuff like that, I find it very difficult to believe that this isn't the motherboard at this point. This is the V1 board. Rev 1.0 confirmed. CPU seem like no 5 VSB is 5 volt standby, and that's the motherboard's standby rail. It's not core voltage, and I don't know if the CPU has any kind of monitoring for 5 VSB. Right, I'm assuming that's been long enough. Whoop.
How much is the MSI Pro B650? Oh, that's an M.
I'm also just going to stare real close at that CPU socket again.
Blip, 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 blip. Lightening.
There's nothing wrong with that pin.
140. Oh, 148. ASRock B650 PG Lightning. B650 PG Lightning.
I can stay there actually. All right, no CPU. Let's see what happens.
£148. That's not bad.
And we've got just straight up no power with no CPU connected. Hypothetically, would it do it should do a BIOS flashback with no CPU, shouldn't it? I've got a flash drive around here somewhere that's got the BIOS on it. Where did I put it? I did bring it over, or did I? I did not. It's over here.
Yeah.
Let's see if it'll do a flashback.
Is that aesthetically acceptable?
Yeah, that looks fine.
Because that's also an option.
Yeah.
And it's 148 quid if you're happy to buy not off of Amazon.
Where's it from?
More cocoa.
Okay. Right. Right.
Yeah, more cocoa.
I've put in a flash drive. I'm going to hit the Q flash and see what happens. We've got power. Right, it has powered on.
Interesting.
And we've got I can't get it on camera, but there is a flashing LED. It is slow flashing at the moment. It's going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which doesn't sound very slow, but when it does a quick flash, it'll be like you know. So it's doing something. However, I've been through all of this before, so I can't see a world where this is going to do anything at all. So I'm going to lay that down while it does the flashing. Right. Made a weird noise when I laid it down, but the Q flash LED is still going away. So, and we're sitting on no CPU as well. I think this 24 pin is knackered because it's making unhealthy noises.
Yeah.
I think this power supply is knackered because also like we're missing 2 of the ground wires from the EPS connector. However, the other thing as well is that like because we've tried all of this with the Lian Li's EVGA power supply, we've no reason to believe that there's a power supply issue at the moment.
Yeah.
So yeah, even though the power supply is making weird noises and stuff like that, like it's not a power supply issue. That's just because this power supply is buggered. I'll let it run through this. It's not going to make a difference. It might post afterwards, but yeah.
Yeah.
Right. We are slow flashing on the Q flash LED, and the activity LED on the flash drive is blinking, so it's currently reading the BIOS from the flash drive.
Oh yeah, free delivery as well. Nice.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, because it's 170 quid off of Amazon or 148 from More Cocoa.
Fair enough.
So it's 20 quid.
Right, I'm just going to check if... yeah, that's still doing things. Just going to check if I've got my bank cards with me today. No. I've put them somewhere and I need to find them. Long shot, but I don't suppose that's on Amazon, is it? Just to save me hassle.
What, that board? Yeah,
yeah.
It's 20 quid more.
20 quid more? Oh,
yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. Could you DM me the link to it, please? Right. Motherboard LED has been steady through all of this bit for the BIOS flashback. It's still reading from the flash drive. It's still reading from the flash drive though, so yeah, it's still flashing. Yeah, I can only imagine that this was just a faulty motherboard that got sent back to Amazon. And if Amazon did do any testing, which I'm guessing they didn't, they probably got a single post out of it and was just like, yeah, it's fine. So still flashing. I think overall, if it ends up being the motherboard, I think I'm probably happy with that, because buying RAM, I didn't really want to buy a different RAM because the motherboard I've been thoroughly not particularly impressed with anyway, just because the BIOS options were so terrible on this motherboard. I didn't want it to be the CPU because returning the CPU is going to be a pain in the ass. And while the RAM is the easiest to replace, replacing the RAM would have been disappointing because I still would have ended up with a motherboard that has a terrible BIOS and a terrible QVL. So I think buying a different motherboard is probably going to be the best. I think that's going to end up being the best possible outcome here. It's still doing the thing. I don't think Amazon is set up to test every returned item. No, it's possible that whoever, it has finished flashing and it has switched off. Whoever sent this motherboard back, maybe they didn't send it back as faulty, they just returned it as I just don't want it. And that's how it ended up on warehouse.
Yeah.
So yeah. No, there's 4 RAM slots. There's another one here. However, the camera angle is deceptive. So yeah. Right, okay, that has done a BIOS flashback. I will put the CPU back in and we'll see if it starts. I think the last item of business is if we can get a post out of it, we can just have a look around BIOS, and just so we can just see if there are any settings anywhere that I'm missing that will make that you guys will also be like, oh yeah, or whether I was just being an idiot and couldn't find modern settings. Because like I said, I couldn't find memory context restore or just CPU vCore. So, right, that's on, that's on. I kind of hot plugged the CPU there, but whatever. On, no? Doesn't want to go? I'll turn it off and on again. Uh-oh.
What?
Well, I put in the CPU while the power supply was still on.
Oh, I see.
And now it won't start. Oh, I've done that before. Don't be like that. I'll just unplug everything. That's not the first time I've done that. Oh, and throw the power supply away. Yes, agreed. Yeah. Yeah. Because, like, the power supply, I either need to get new modular cables for it or chuck it out. And I would imagine I'm probably not going to be able to find new modular cables, because the modular cables are all knackered. That's the problem with it. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to find new modular cables for it, which is a shame, because it's, well, also it's a really old power supply as well. Okay, right, that is off. That's all in. It's going to be really embarrassing if I've just upset it by hot plugging the CPU. There it goes. See, it's fine. It's fine. You can hot plug C. Don't do that. Same thing. Yeah. Yeah. No. Okay. New motherboard time. Okay, well, that's kind of a... I was going to say this is kind of a disappointing result, but also, like, this is kind of how I expected this stream to go. I basically wanted to do all of this testing so we could come to a reasonable conclusion as to where the fault is. And I think we've done enough testing and enough diagnostics to make a very, very reasonable assumption that the motherboard has to be the problem here. So yeah. I kind of hoped it would post at least one more time. It started once at the very beginning of the stream, and now it's just hasn't given us anything for the rest of the stream. I thought we might get something a bit more interesting than that, something that would lead us in a couple of other directions first. But no, it's just a dead motherboard. There's no other way to pitch it. What motherboard are we going to replace this with? So Caradog had decided on, was it the Aorus Gaming?
ASRock B650 PG Lightning.
Oh, ASRock, that one.
B650.
B650 PG Lightning.
Lightning.
Fair enough. Cool. All right. That last BIOS attempt, I think, killed it. No, I mean, it hasn't done anything other than this for the entire stream. Part of me wants to just bully it repeatedly and see if I can get it to go. Because like I said, I've had this thing started. I've had it all the way into Windows, and it's given us nothing this stream. But yeah, maybe it was just mega done. I'm just going to spam this reset button. I'm holding reset, so it's just sitting on CPU. And release. Yeah, I reckon if I left it for like half an hour, it might start. But yeah. The PG Lightning is hella basic and ugly. Okay, right. I haven't been keeping track of chat too much on this one, but JD, what's your recommended motherboard that's ATX and not micro ATX? Because I don't want to sell a £1,400 computer with a micro ATX motherboard in it. I mean, I know technically there's nothing wrong with that, but this is supposed to be a nice looking computer as well, you know. Put the motherboard in the oven. Reflow soldering. No, that's not real. Now we're getting into re-hot GPU, bro, solutions. B650 Aorus Elite AX. Yeah, what was the story on that one? I thought we were looking at the Aorus Elite AX.
Yeah, it's just, it was purely that one
was more expensive.
That one was, yeah, more expensive.
Yeah.
And that bulb was cheaper. And you said, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm going to send you links for both of them anyway, and you can obviously decide later.
That's fair. PG Lightning looks about the same as this motherboard. I mean, I think this motherboard looks nice. You know, when it's got the, I'll put the that heatsink back on. Like, I think this is a good-looking motherboard, personally. I'm really disappointed with this motherboard because, you know, it's an X670, and I think it looks modestly attractive, and I'm just overall very disappointed that it's just a crap board. Not just because it's faulty, but just because the BIOS for it is terrible. So yeah, I'm really sad about this, and like it's a knock in my confidence with it's a knock in my confidence in Gigabyte. And you know, like it's really easy for everyone to clown on a brand when they go wrong, but it's like you have to be realistic as well. Like, if everyone goes like, oh, Gigabyte, that's what you get, they're crap, it's like, well, what, you're going to buy an Asus? You know? Or what, you're going to buy an MSI? Just everyone clowns on every brand. ASRock are doing okay because they kind of got that underdog value to them where no one expects greatness from them. So being not terrible is good enough for them to be accepted. But man, there's a lot of bias against brands out there, and it feels like whichever brand you choose, someone is going to sell you that that's bad and the wrong choice. So yeah, JD has no hate for the Aorus Elite AX. All right, so far so good. In before next week, it wasn't the motherboard. Clown emoji. Yeah, maybe. This is Amazon's fault for shipping you a dead board that was returned because of misuse. That is probably the actual answer here. However, also, from what
there's no evidence it was misused.
Well, it was a dead board, yeah. However, also, though, based on when I have managed to get this thing to post, it's also just not a very good motherboard. If you had 200 quid, what sort of laptop would you be looking to get? A second-hand Latitude 7400. Yeah, all right. Perhaps customer dropped a heavy CPU into the socket? I don't think so. Like, there was that one pin that is just slightly off kilter, but like not by a meaningful amount. Yeah, I don't know what happened to this motherboard, but either way, we've got a dead motherboard, and I'm going to replace it. And I guess we'll possibly be back next week to fit it, or I may fit it during the week. Either way.
Fit it during the week.
Yeah, it depends on just how I'm fixed for time, basically. So yeah. Asus Tough Gaming. How much is the Asus Tough Gaming B650, just for argument's sake? Being an Asus, I bet it's £240. I'm going to turn this off because it's dead, Jim.
Which one?
Asus Tough Gaming B650 Plus ATX.
Oh, the standard plus is 165.
That's not terrible, yeah.
The B650E is 245.
Yeah. Dave Weldon, you buy ThinkPad Haswell. The Latitude 7400 is 8th gen Intel. No. ThinkPads are overpriced and overrated.
Why would you buy a 4th gen anything in 2024?
That's a hard nope from me, dog. I'm sad that my PC doesn't work. However, buy a new motherboard, it'll be fine. However, yes, I will have to file a dispute for the CPU just in case, which is frustrating. I should have moved faster on this. However, I think the other thing as well, though, is just like actually spending the time today on stream to focus on this properly is what I needed, because I've kind of just been poking it during the week, just going like, come on, do something. Do something. And like, really, you need to sit down and focus on something to really diagnose it properly, and I just haven't had time to do that. So depends on what you need it for. That should be the question. Yeah, but why would you buy a 4th gen Intel when you can buy 8th gen Intel for the same price? You know, like the 8th gen Intel will demolish, it will destroy the Haswell CPU for the same price. You know, like if you were paying like 50 quid for the Haswell, sure. But yeah.
Even then, it's still telling someone to go buy a bad experience.
Yeah. A Latitude 7400 is like £160 on eBay.
That's not bad.
Doo-doo. Right. You can get a Haswell for a quarter the price. Oh, I see, yeah. But now you're just buying an old, cheap laptop. And also, like, I'm opening a can of worms here, but remember, folks, Windows 10 goes out of support next year. If you buy 8th gen, it can run Windows 11. Yeah, don't buy e-waste. Okay, I'm going to take this apart. I like my Dynabook Tecra. Does it actually have Dynabook written on it? Because it's still wild to me every time I hear Dynabook Tecra or something like that. Because I'm like, oh yeah, Toshiba used to make laptops. And like Dynabook is a weird brand that bought the Toshiba laptop series, but I've never actually seen a Dynabook. Out of support doesn't mean it's useless. No, but it does mean that you're not getting security updates.
And also, it being 4th gen Intel in 2024 makes it functionally useless.
Yeah, just like, why are you buying a 10-year-old laptop? I mean, if your budget is zero, like if you have no money to spend and you need the cheapest laptop money can buy, and you know, like if we're talking the budget is zero, what is the cheapest functional laptop that money can buy so I can browse the internet? Okay, maybe, but like £160 for a modern laptop that runs Windows 11, that's not expensive, you know. I feel like,
especially when someone's got £200 to spend.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's a good point as well. The original thing was the original budget was 200, so yeah. Right, that goes there. I'm going to take my mounting kit off of this.
My mountain
kit, mate. Browse the internet. Do you guys not have phones? Maybe. Who the hell put these on? Bloody hell. Whew. I'm getting pliers. What have you found that's making you go hoo hoo hoo?
Gigabyte Z790 Aorus Extreme X. £1,249.50.
You know what? Let's look at that. Bring it up on the stream. How much? What does £1,000 buy me in a motherboard these days?
A block.
Yeah. Hang on a minute. Where's the
literal block?
There's the HDMI. If you want.
I was just gonna catch off of there, but
up to you. Yeah. I'm kind of curious as to this in general because I'm not actually very savvy on AM5 motherboards, so a conversation about them is kind of interesting to me. Catch the Wales board. Yeah. Oh, look at that. It's got a fancy screen on it. You know what? It's a block, but it's a cool looking block. Having stat screens inside the computer is the new rage. This is what is in fashion now. And I don't mind if it looks diegetic. Like, you know that new height AIO that's all the rage now?
There we go.
Oh my god, are you okay?
Capture?
I see. Did I try the second memory stick alone? I didn't, but also the motherboard doesn't work with no RAM in it. So just, yeah, there's no planet where this is a memory issue. You just have to bring it up on the stream PC instead. Where's my box of mounting hardware?
Where are my mountains?
There. For over 1,000, it better diagnose itself. Where was? Yeah, I like stat screens if they look nice and they look like they're part of the computer. But you know that new height AIO that comes with the natty little stat screen? I don't like it. I think it looks tacky personally. And I'm speaking as someone who likes stat screens. But yeah, I thought it looked kind of naff personally. Oh. That's inconvenient. The brackets for these are AM5 specific, so now I need to dig through this box. Oh, what? Hold on just a moment. Okay, fun fact. When this motherboard No, there must have been some that fitted. Okay. When this motherboard arrived, the hold down brackets were on the wrong way round.
Yes.
However, I can't find ones that will fit either way round now. I didn't realise they were different. There must be some in here that fit. I'm just going to pull them all out.
But yes, that's what £1,000 gets you.
Yeah. Man, that's a hell of a thing above the primary PCI Express slot. What's going on with that? Is that just heat sinking for VRMs or something?
No, it's for your M.2.
But why? Because it's £1,000, I guess.
For your Gen 5 M.2, it dissipates 25 watts.
Do they actually?
Yes.
Oh my god. Oh, this is problems. I'm sure I put the things in here. Ah. Gen 5 M2s get very hot. That's fair. Still nope. Unless... No. If I'd known that they were different, I'd have kept them separated out. But because the coolers are cross-compatible, I kind of assumed that the mounting kit would be the same.
How? If it's using the same backplate,
the holes are lining up, but the clearance between the socket and those capacitors is wrong. The keep out zone is different.
Oh right, I see. Okay.
Am I going to have to look around the shop and just see if I put these down somewhere else? I tell you which ones they might be. I think, no, it was a backplate that I found earlier on. That's frustrating. Nope, that's not going to fit because it's the only one left. No. Oh, that's annoying. Now I'm going to have to hunt around the shop to find the bloody brackets that go on this. On the plus side, it's going back to Amazon. It's not like they're going to check. Balls. Okay, right. I'm going to have a quick scan up here. No. There's some there. Let's quickly check these guys. Where the Jeffreys did I put those then? I'm not going to look for them while we're live. I will look for them during the week. And I will find something that fits there.
I will find something else. It will be made to fit with a Dremel.
Oh, actually, I'll tell you one more place I'm going to look is the actual motherboard box.
That would be sensible.
Yeah, because if I was really smart, I'd have put them in the box. Actually, no. Well, maybe anyway.
If I was smart, I'd have put them in the box. Well,
yes.
If
I was smart, I would have put them in my box of mounting kits, which is where I just keep them all because they're generic. No, they're not in the motherboard box.
No. Oh, well.
Ugh. I'll find something. Nope, okay. Well, I think we're all out of content in that case. Fine. All right. Well, that's all I got for today, if I'm honest.
breaking things.
Yeah. Not a super thrilling journey. I had a mad hope that we were going to find a solution that worked for this, but on the other hand, see, here's the thing, is just like I said, during the week, I'd kind of been poking away at this computer with this mad hope that I would make it work. But also, at the bottom of my heart, I knew that even if I got it working, it wouldn't be something that I could sell, because if the computer doesn't work on stock BIOS settings, if you've got to dial in some bonkers BIOS settings to make it work, that's not something you can sell, because at some point the BIOS is going to get reset while the customer has it, and it's going to stop working. And they're going to be like, hey, it stopped working. And you're going to be like, oh, I have to put in some special BIOS set. And they're going to be like, why does it require special BIOS settings to work? And yeah. So I think that's why I kind of feel frustrated with this, because I think I already knew the answer, that something was broken, something was going to have to be replaced. And the bottom line was this computer just wasn't ready. But yeah, it's even when you do this all the time, it's still really disheartening and demotivating when you get faulty parts and you build something and it doesn't work and you're like, great, now I have to do more stuff, you know. So yeah, pull the CR2032. I can't be asked, to be honest. I have a packet of batteries, so yeah, not worth it. Try what you have backwards. I was trying them both ways round and none of them fitted. I'll try it again just to see if I can find something, because as I say, when the board arrived they were the wrong way round, because I noticed that when I was fitting it. I wonder if I might have even mentioned it on stream. I might have said, hey, those are the wrong way round, that's weird. Well, I'm removing them anyway, so who cares. However, I can't make them, they don't physically go onto the board the wrong way round. So there must be a set of these that have a different keep out zone. But man, all of these have exactly the same shape to them. Even though like some of them have got rounded and some of them have got squared off edges, but the keep out zone is identical on all of them. So I don't know what happened there. There must be a set of hold down brackets somewhere else in the shop that came off of this motherboard. Because like, yeah, I can't even put one in wonky. If I could put it in slightly wonky, then that must have been how it was and I just didn't notice because I was doing it on stream. But yeah. The other alternative is that I just don't put them on and just dare Amazon to notice. However, I went through every one of these in the box and none of them fitted. So yeah, I'll have to hunt around the shop. There must be another pair of these somewhere that I've put down.
Yeah, possibly over there, given.
Yeah, someone bring up a picture of when you took them off. That's not a bad idea, Adam. I'm not going to do that now. However, I will refer to the previous stream, just because then at least I can get a picture of what they looked like and I know what design I'm looking for. And also, like, if we get a picture and they look just like one of these, then I know that it has to have been one of these that was just wrongly fitted. And the fact that they were the wrong way round tells me that whoever first bought this motherboard removed them in order to fit a third-party cooler and then put them back on again the wrong way round and possibly put on the ones from their previous AM4 motherboard.
Maybe.
So yeah. All right. I think I've enjoyed this conversation in English. We're only at 2 hours, but I'm kind of out.
You've enjoyed it. Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
The sentiment is the same.
Yeah. We're only at 2 hours, but I'm kind of out of content. So, yeah, unless anyone else has got anything else that they want to cover. Yeah. Anything coming up? Not really. I don't even know if I've got a video lined up for next week. I did a MacBook Air repair during the week, and it was...
Not a Mac repair channel.
I know. It was a MacBook Air repair, and it was kind of it was liquid damage, and I kind of basically just cleaned up the motherboard and it worked again. And I was like, there we go. That's how you approach liquid damage repair. It wasn't really world-changing, and so I'm like, I guess I'll just put that out anyway because I haven't got anything else at the moment. But part of me is always like, oh, you've got to put out gold every time. You've got to put out bangers. I'm like, well, I already know that I can't put out a banger every week. That's just the way this works. So yeah, 30 minutes of ramble and chat. No. What do you think of mini PCs with Oculink connectors? I like the idea of mini PCs and stuff like that. I'm not really interested in eGPUs because lots of people talk about them, but man, like anyone in chat, do you know anyone who uses an eGPU? Ever? At all? I've never seen anyone use one. We know that they exist. I've never seen anyone using an external GPU. It's one of those things that, like, yeah, it's theoretically possible, and people point out, and they go, oh, look, it's got Oculink, and oh, look, it's got Thunderbolt 4, so you could connect up an external GPU. No one does, though. No one does.
It's more relevant for general purpose docks, though. Oculink.
Okay,
I mean, obviously, it being on there is relevant for just general purpose docks because you can have non-brand specific docks that actually connect at PCIe 4 speed, and you actually have some bandwidth on them.
Are Thunderbolt 4 docks all bollocks then? Broadly speaking.
Well, they're Intel only.
Yes, that's a good point.
So if you want a good processor.
Yeah. Oof. Throwing shade there, but yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, if you're using a dock. I mean, I kind of feel like docks are also an extremely niche case, but I mean, I guess it's good that the connector is there.
But it's not, yeah,
because
I mean,
you know, like,
the flip side is
just because I don't think it's useful doesn't mean it shouldn't be there, because like that's Apple's methodology. This is why MacBooks, well, they've gotten better in recent times, but this is why MacBooks went through a period of having just no I/O on them, because Apple were like, no one uses USB ports, no one uses the HDMI port, so we're going to take it off. And it just means that once in a blue moon when someone's just like, oh, I'm going to a wedding and I want to do a slideshow of pictures of my best friend whose wedding it is. Oh, I can't connect this projector to my £1,000 laptop. What gives? You know, so I guess it's a good thing to put these ports on devices so they exist. I think Oculink is a little bit specific, but
I mean, or the mini cool connector. Either or.
Mini cool?
I think that's what it is. The one that's actually PCIe Gen 5.
Interesting.
But yeah. But it's also, it makes sense to me because functionally everyone I know with a business laptop in like big companies doesn't have a desktop on their desk. They have a laptop with a dock and 2 monitors.
Interesting.
And a keyboard and mouse.
Yeah.
And an Ethernet cable that goes into the dock kind of thing.
Yeah, so docks are being used in the commercial space.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which makes sense. You know, that's not the first time I've heard that, you know. And obviously I'm coming in with a consumer bias here.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. See ya.
Yeah. Yeah, speaking of mini PCs, I need to follow up on that one email of that one brand who I've forgotten the name of, who are offering me one of those mini PCs.
Yes.
Need to catch up with them.
Plus all of the other emails.
Yeah. I did get back to them, talking to JLC PCB at the moment, but also I responded to them and I was just like, oh yes, I'll do this, this and this in a video for you. And I haven't read their response in detail yet, but the first sentence of their response was, I think you've misunderstood. And I was like, oh. And immediately my brain was just like, I don't want to talk about this anymore, and I stopped reading. But yeah, I think they want me to use their PCB assembly service, which I'm like, I guess I could, but that's a lot less interesting.
Then what?
Because the PCB assembly service is as in, we'll solder all the stuff onto your PCB for you.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, what am I going to do in the video other than just unbox it then? You know.
Talk about it in the 60-second landing.
Well, that's just it. I think that means it's going to be a sponsor spot instead of a sponsor video. I wanted to do a video because I wanted to integrate it into like doing like Slime VR PCBs or something like that, because that's directly applicable, because I'm already buying PCBs from JLC for Slime VR trackers. And I was like, this is great. Now I can do a sponsorship spot and a sponsored video for a project that I'm already doing.
However, yeah, you can do the video with just a 60-second sponsored read in it.
Yeah, basically that.
Well, I'm not seeing your problem.
Yeah, there is a solution to it. It's just not exactly what I was envisioning, I guess.
Instead of having to make a 30-minute video, I have to do 60 seconds.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, but it's just like, the point is, I don't use their assembly service, and I'm not interested in their assembly service. Slime VR sounds very moist, yes. The point is, I was excited about this because it would be a sponsored video for something that I'm already doing. Whereas now it's a sponsor, and like, it's fine, but I want a sponsor for a service that I actually use. I don't use JLC's assembly service, but then I do use JLC as a board provider. So I guess it's fine, but
just tell them that you'll tell them the functions that they do, including the assembly service.
Yeah.
And the assembly service means you don't have to be good at soldering like what I am.
Yeah.
The assembly service means you can get boards that look like I made them.
Yeah.
Delivered to your house.
I've enjoyed this conversation in English, I think. So yeah.
30-second short, moist video.
You didn't use NordVPN either. Well, that's why the Nord sponsorship fell through. I couldn't find a way of just doing the sponsor slot in a way that I was happy with. You know, I was trying to think of ways to phrase it. I was trying to think of ways to be excited about it. I'm like, I'm not excited about this service. I don't care. So yeah.
Very well. This has been a conversation in English.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for coming. We'll see you next week.